Hi Scorpio, how are you? Welcome to the space. If you are new, my name is Raaji, and it's nice to meet you. Can you tell how shy I am sometimes? Yeah, and this space is called Opal Oracle. If you're returning, thank you. Thank you so very much, Scorpio. So, I was thinking back to was it 2019? So it's been almost a year and a half. What's been going on for the last year and a half? Mostly to do with your own surrendering, Scorpio. Oh, it also reminds me, you had this reading once, it was like the end of apathy, right? I believe that was sitting across from yourself. You know, you're a quite profound person, Scorpio. Very profound energy. Profound. That's an interesting one, right? If you're pro something, you are for it. And found, for found. What are 4 things that you have found? That you had found. I heard that you have buried accordingly. I also feel like you might find maybe 4 little things. What are these 4 things? Like, or what are, maybe what it is what are 4 things that are physical that you lost or you wish you had, that you have lost in your life and you wish that you had, I heard again. I heard you can have them again if you want to. You know, I heard you know how to find them because you are profound. All right. Let's open your cards, Scorpio. I've been opening with my left hand today, I guess. Let's see here. I heard, let me in, let me in. And it reminded me of, what's the poem about the raven that comes a-knockin'? Tap, tap, tap upon my door. Oh, Saturn. Okay, let's start there with you. Just a minute. Just a second, Scorpio. Nope, nope, nope. Where are you? Fire. Air. Water. Ooh, is that how deep the Scorpio one is? Just a second. Okay. Just a minute, please. You all right? Just a second, Scorpio. I want to make sure that we're not taking you... You know, it's always sad when people take Scorpio energy in a surface or like superficial kind of way. Like, oh, Scorpio is sex or Scorpio is whatever. It's like... It's unfortunate, you know, when something isn't really taken for what it is, for the depth of what it is. Just a second, I'm trying to figure out how not to dig too deep. Oh, I see. Scorpio. Okay. This is one of the main qualities which appears is a lack of self-assertion of a positive kind. There is often a need to enforce one's will and to control the immediate environment. But rather than being the spontaneous and self-confident assertion of the individual, this is more of a defensive maneuver, which sometimes attempts to attack first because it is fearful of attack. Sometimes the need for control is expressed in a subtle and indirect way so that situations are manipulated without any real evidence of aggressiveness. This is the characteristic coupling of need and fear which is so often found within Saturn. The natural shyness and stiff awkwardness is expressed more obviously than with any other, although the individual often learns during life to cultivate a smooth, cool, and polished surface. And then I look down at interpretation is considered. Alrighty then. Scorpio, what's going on with you? Interesting we started with the book there. Okay. So everyone thus far, you're sixth on the roster, has had some sort of heart feeling. The heart is the center, right? We're in Taurus time. Happy opposite birthday, by the way. Some sort of deep feeling here, and I see that there is a quiet in your heart now. Now, some of you, this could feel a little uncomfortable, the quiet. But I heard if you just give it a little bit of a listen, like, give it some space. Then you won't backtrack emotionally, and that peace will stay there. And this is because you're learning how to forgive yourself. How to believe in your relationships with other people, right? Friend, family, what have you. I mean, not expect anything from them, because you know. But I heard love them all the same. But I heard, remember, pain is not supposed to hurt. We'll take it. Maybe there's something about acceptance with that. Acceptance. Okay. Let me see here. You have 2 10s. Somebody else did also, but they had cups and pentacles. You have swords and wands. So this is masculine energy. Right side. Right? So well, you're really good at dealing with some pretty intense stuff, right? Whoever's here. But you also still sort of expect pain, like struggle, regardless of how good you're doing. It's almost like, it's not exactly waiting for the rug to be swept under your feet, but it's kind of like, you know there's going to be a challenge. But the important thing is to know that, yes, you're right, there are always challenges. This is Saturn and Scorpio, right together, being like, okay, we all got debts to pay, right? Situations to endure, challenges to overcome, what have you. I see the important thing is to remember that you can. And a big way for, and you actually have this hangman in your heart. So maybe you're really having some sort of enlightenment in yourself through some kind of surrender. And I heard it's like you're learning how to use your spiritual space to heal you from the mind, from the hard memories, right? Or the rigid, you're fixed. So like the rigidness, any rigidness of you, right? Instead of a shelled creature, you are a snake, which is really malleable, right? It's movable, has flexibility. All right. I feel like, what do I see here? I want to figure out what shape I want to make. Just a second. Well, I guess you're just not becoming so affected by something, or it's very helpful for you to be aware of what is, like we mentioned in there, like trying to control the external world. It's too hard. And you're allowed to have fun, by the way. Healthy fun. There's a difference, right? There's things that are fun that are not good for us, right? That repeat cycles. And then there are things that are fun And I guess what you're trying to find is some sort of place where, like I heard a place of comfort. And I want you to know that you can build that. This seems to be a collective message this month, but it's like, if you feel like you can, if you believe that you can, then you can. I mean, will you be able to determine, right? I went back to that reading where I told you could touch the bottom, right? You dug that tunnel, fucking clawed that tunnel through the mountain, right? You worked extra hard, and I see you really did you're doing a good job, Scorpio. So, but I still see that there's a lot of hard work to do. This could just be the energy of Scorpio. It's a little bit intense. It's Mars and Pluto. It's intense, right? Opposed by Venus, the softness. So yes, life sometimes is intense. There are restrictions with Scorpionic energy, and that's just a part of... Well, I don't know. I heard you finding your center. And finding your faith. I heard, are you happy where you are? Just a second. There's a lot of healing here, and a lot of yeah, there's a lot of healing here, but there's a lot of hard work that also needs to be put in at this time. So remember to also, like, take it easy, like go for a walk, go to a little cafe, like you know, things like this. And if something becomes too confusing, right, you can't seem to kind of get your head on straight, this is probably when you need some time alone and to think about it, right, to kind of ground yourself, right? If you think about snakes, they are generally, although they do den together when they're resting, usually during the day they are out doing their own things, right? They're in their solo, pretty much a solo creature. So you need that space, just like well, you need that space is the point. I do feel as if you're forgiving yourself for something. You could have already forgiven yourself, but forgiveness is kind of one of those things I heard you have to polish once in a while. Like, remind yourself in a positive way, right? Because remember, whenever we retell the past, like recall a memory or talk about a situation that happened, or again, just even think about it, doesn't have to be verbal. This is how one remembers the situation. So, and it's not about, I heard, lying to put a positive spin on it, but it's just about being grateful for where you are now, right? maybe even sometimes being like, man, I'm glad I took, you know, I chose that one and that one, even though that didn't pan out the way I thought it would have, because that taught me a great lesson, and I'm here now. Right? Something like that. Like, thank God for that. I heard I'm so grateful for my suffering. Right? This wider perspective helps a lot, because it'll clear any blocks out of the way, so now you can, I heard, create what you want. And I just saw someone taking, like they were going to build a house, but they needed to get the boulders, like there were like bigger rocks out of the way, right? So you could make a nice level surface to build upon. And maybe, side note, if those of you who've been here before, remember the cylinder reading where you were down there, and I told you not to be a Pisces, not to flit like a fish, right? Because you ain't no fish. I mean, you can be if you want to be, but that's not one of your natural animals. So the point is that maybe you were digging a well, right? So you had something that is this infinite source of pure, clean water, right? That can sustain you. And now you're building something that is structural, and I heard sound, and I need you to believe in what you're building in yourself and what has been built, like, around you and through you. Like, I heard just by you being the person that you are, right? I know your magic is complex, right? And I'm sure even complicated sometimes, like why you understand certain things or why you connect to certain things, and this is why you need time and space in between to reflect. But make sure always that you are not isolating, because it's not good for Scorpio specifically. You gotta get out and socialize and interact, even if something's a little uncomfortable at first. Try it. You know what I mean? Just try. And I also see your friends believe in you. I feel like if you have coworkers, they believe in you. Like you help the world more than you know. I heard by just being happy, Scorpio. Right, being at peace with yourself. It's like I heard you probably send out the biggest bubble of power, you know, to affect like a further range. So I see, please do your best, because it's a really beautiful thing. You're very important. You know, most people just have to train one animal, right? Taurus has to just get the bull to go from here to the slaughterhouse, I guess. You know, Leo has to tame himself. You know, you, for instance, you have many animals and all of them are feral, and it's hard to train a feral animal. You have to build a lot of trust with them, right? It takes a really long time to build trust, and so I don't want you to give up in well, I heard believing in love. You are lovable. Like, God loves you. The animals love you. I love you. And if you are having any deep conversations with your heart right now, I feel like it would be best to maybe maybe you want to, how do I see it? Like, maybe you want to write about it first, or maybe you want to sit with yourself about it first. Ground yourself, right? Like that snake. Who was that? I feel like Capricorn and Cancer were both recorded on the same day as you, and they could also give you extra indication. I feel like the changes that are going on inside of yourself, that you can feel like the snake shedding a little bit, like that's Capricorn will help you with that. And about the way that you, any questions about like discipline or suffering or more emotional questions, please watch Cancer. And whatever your rising sign is would also be helpful if you know what that is. That'll give you, because that's you. You know what I mean? And I want you to feel confident about who you are and what you are creating. You have what you need to create what you want. It does take, some things, you know, take a little longer. Right? Like filling your own cup. You know what I mean? Really finding emotional peace in I heard in yourself and in the past, in the now. Shoot, that takes a lot of work, right? It's not easy. And I'm really proud of you, whoever's here, for the struggle that you have endured and for not giving up. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to give up. It's easy to quit, you know what I mean? But to face it and to endure it and to learn from it, well, that's what makes you a rich person. Do you know what I mean? Rich in spirit, rich in heart, rich in soul. That's really the only thing that's worth anything anyway, you know? Humans got it all twisted. And so I see also, remember not to be ashamed, I heard, of your past and its pain. And I sense once starts to, those waters are settling, you know what I mean? And so if it's still a little bit murky some way, somehow, don't worry about it. I do feel as if other people, side note, could be a little bit draining to you at this time, so make sure that you're keeping focus, because your day-to-day routine is important now. There was sort of a bit of Piscean energy here, so make sure you're not escaping in any kind of way, or don't gloss anything over, right? Like we talked about in the beginning, don't make anything, not that you really would, but I mean, I heard you determine the level of depth that you want to go, so know what you can handle, and remember to come up for air. And I do feel as if you could learn a lot right now through, if you're involved in any communities or through your friendships, like you could really learn a lot there. It could also help you unlearn something, which is kind of cool. Maybe that's that untangling, so you can put your mind at ease, okay? Yes, put that mind at ease. Cancer Capricorn will be helpful. Interesting reading, Scorpio. Thank you for being so honest. Thank you for opening up. It's the only way these readings really work like that, you know, is if you allow it. You know what I mean? And so thank you for extending your trust in this space. I mean, even though this is on a public forum, to me this is still, you know, usually whoever's connecting to this is connecting to it in a private way, and Well, and your privacy is important, right? You take it seriously, and you should. It's not to be disregarded, someone's boundaries, right? And I want you to know that the boundary of your love is infinite. And so, whenever that feels like a small bubble, I want you to know that you can expand that. And this goes into your own ability to ground yourself. You know, maybe it's just basic things like you need more sunshine, or you need to take off your shoes, or you need to go walk in the grass, or sit on the ground, or, you know, just kind of, especially if things become too murky, right? Take some time and remind yourself what you've been going through. For instance, I don't know, the last year or two or three, right? There's been a lot, especially the last year, right? There's been a lot going on there, and I know that there's a lot of faith that's been being built. And the power of the mind is so important, right? You know what's real or not. So, deep in your heart. And I want you to know that fear is not real. Most of the time, right? When it's instinctual, like, oh, I'm at the edge of a cliff, stop. You know, like, that's different. But like a lingering fear, a lingering sorrow or sadness, that's not real. There's just a hole in the bucket that needs to be patched. And I see that you're starting to hold, right? Again, you can touch the bottom, you can hold water. Like, because I saw your heart in a bucket. It's also the Cancer reading, close this out, it's also the Cancer reading from April, maybe? I'll add that. No. March. Interesting. Lots of reflection in this time, right? Good, good. It's your opposite birthday. It's a good time to do it. You'll gain a lot of truths in this time. And I think you're going to realize how strong you really are. It's important to, like, emphasize that. And if you have any questions about that, Libra's your neighbor, you know. And I see they're friends of yours, right? Libra's never... I don't see Libra as your enemy. If anything, it can be quite inspiring. So who are also the friends, like, other people in your life that you find inspiring? That you like to learn from, and you know, gives you some sort of, I heard zinga. Right? Maybe even spiritually, like, where do you find that extra, I heard loving feeling. Thank you for being here, Scorpio. Yours is a little bit longer. I do appreciate you so much. Thank you again for opening up in this space and allowing these messages to be had. It takes a lot of trust, and again, I see you've done great. Yes, very good work. Very good work, Scorpio. So keep it up. I'm really proud of you. Thank you also, any of you who, well, write or comment or I work with personally. Always a pleasure. Any of you also have gone over to Patreon. Thank you. It's actually a good mixture. I haven't asked yet, like, because I feel like it would be invasion of privacy anyway, but, you know, like, I wonder, I feel like there's a good balance of all the signs over there, and even over here, like, it's not, like, too heavy in one spot. It's kind of dispersed accordingly, and, yeah, it's just cool. But if you've been over there on Patreon, thank you, too, so much, so much. I've been enjoying the, I've been doing more like astrology lessons, and I finally finished the Ascendant series, which is really, that took a whole nother turn, but I made it more visual because I feel like it's easier to understand complex things when you can, you know, again, have not just the intuitive space, feeling space, but also this tangible reflection, right? Anyway, I love you, Scorpio. I'll talk to you later. Peace.